Hi, Lighthouse family. Welcome to another edition of Truth for Troubled Times. This is Pastor Jason. It's good to see you all. Hopefully you've been encouraged by just the many devotions over the past few weeks. I really appreciate the guys and just their sharing of such great wisdom and truth. They've really been just pointing us to a sovereign God who is loving and who is wise, who is truly offering us a greater hope. And just the idea that this season is no accident. In fact, this was all part of God's plan. And, it wasn't, he wasn't looking the other way and some virus suddenly hit. But ultimately, even this is for our best. We've also looked at our fears and our personal worries and how they are stemming from hearts that are looking for refuge in the wrong things. And just this idea that the antidote, the solution, is to fix our eyes on Christ. To live in light of eternity, to spend time studying and meditating on biblical truth. And then as a result, we grow in steadfastness. We learn to love others better. We have a hope and a peace and a comfort that comes only from God. And I know many of you are taking these encouragements to heart and redeeming the season well. Yet I know there are still others who are still gripped by fear that you or a loved one may catch COVID. Others are just daily stressed and fretting about finances. Some have lost jobs, decrease in income. Others just are depressed, lonely, missing spending time with others, being stuck home alone. Still others angry, just frustrated. We can't do the things we want to do. Or maybe there's conflict at home with family members or housemates who we are stuck with 24/7 and for who knows how much longer. And I know these emotions, they're real, that we wrestle with them day in and day out. And as a Christian, you may feel guilty. Why am I feeling this way? You're trying to fix your eyes on Jesus. You're doing your daily devotionals. You're spending time in prayer, yet you still struggle. Then you wonder, is there something wrong with me? A good Christian should feel peace and hope and even joy in trials. So what are we to do? Do we suppress these emotions? Do we deny them? Do we just tell ourselves, hey, just cheer up? Well, today, I wanted to look at a psalm of lament, to help give us some biblical direction on how we can approach these doubts and these questions. We'll be looking today at Psalm 77, and the title is "In the Day of Trouble, I Seek the Lord." And this is a community lament. We don't know the specific writer or occasion of when this was written, but just hear the words of the psalmist. So Psalm 77, starting with verse 1. I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, my spirit faints. You hold my eyelids open. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. As you listen to that, can you just sense the raw emotion, just the anguish? The psalmist, he's crying aloud. He's stretching out his hand. This is like a posture of desperate prayer. His soul cannot find comfort. He moans, his spirit faints. He cannot sleep. He cannot speak. Let me ask you, have you ever prayed this way? Just real and messy and raw. Or maybe you think that this is not the proper reverential way to pray. This is not becoming. This is just complaining. Well, you know what? The Bible is full of heartfelt, fervent lamentations and pleas and crying out. And we should not hesitate to do likewise. Continuing, verse 5. I consider the days of old, the years long ago. I said, let me remember my song in the night. Let me meditate in my heart. Then my spirit made a diligent search. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favorable? Has his steadfast love forever ceased? And are his promises at an end for all time? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in his anger shut up his compassion? As the psalmist has acknowledged and expressed what he's feeling, what's happening is that he begins to look deeper into his heart, into his thoughts. And he starts seeing the questions and doubts behind his anxiety and fear. Will the Lord spurn me forever? Has his love ceased? Have his promises ended? Has he forgotten to be gracious? Has he shut up his compassion? And when we pray with this rawness and fervency, we too begin to get to the bottom of our emotions. And we start to uncover the doubts and the lies behind them. Will God really provide if I lose my job? Is Christ plus nothing really enough for me? What will happen to my kids if I get sick? Who will take care of them? I am so scared to die. Is heaven really better? But just as we sense the darkness that has enveloped the psalmist's prayer, the light goes on. Verse 10, then I said, I will appeal to the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. Yes, with your arm redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. When we are facing our emotions and honestly identifying the very thoughts and intentions of our hearts, then we can speak specific and hope-filled truth back into our souls. God, he's always provided for me, just like when I lost my job 5-10 years ago. God, he has given me this wonderful community of believers, and he will take care of my kids no matter what. I might get sick, but God can heal me just like he has done in the past. If God called me home today, that truly would be better. That would be awesome. And I love how the psalmist asks this: what God, little g, is like our God, big G? When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable before God, this reveals how we've let these good gifts become little gods that have taken over. The gods of family, of friends, of job, health, security, stability. So I encourage you, beloved, to pray. Pray. Not with a bunch of these and thous, but just pour your emotions and your angst and your anxiety and your frustrations, pour them out before God. Not as a means of catharsis or to nurse your grief or just to wallow in your pain, but because this is how you genuinely feel. This is real. And as you dig into this hot mess, as you explore those doubts and the confusion, you're asking these hard and even shameful questions. See beneath any Christian veneer that we're supposed to put on for the outside world, and let the true God speak into your situation. Let God minister to your soul and bring real hope. God bless you all.